Yes, you managed. You all managed able to get a 4-person sedan for a reasonable price, and
Excellent. Let's
you got
gas
that
up.
car for a week.
Perfect. Shouldn't take us more than a week. Probably be dead by then anyway.
I would say, do they also include insurance on that in case anything happens to the car?
Yeah, with the extreme. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure you get that. You always make sure you get that. That way you can do anything you want with the car. It's covered.
Woohoo! All right. Seatbelts are not a standard yet.
No, they're not.
Of course, this cars that can travel the speeds you would die in a wreck are not quite there yet. Also, the roads you can make those drives on are also not quite there yet.
No. So it is an hour's drive to the small little town of Kingsbarn.
I guess the roads aren't too terrible.
They're not too terrible, no. Kingsbarn is the true definition of small town. There is a corner shop, there is an inn, and there is about 30 houses. And then off in the distance, visible, is a extremely large rundown mansion. You can tell that it's basically falling apart as it sits there. This building was hit pretty heavily during the war. Degradation, old age, all those sort of things have accustomed to this building being completely abandoned. But it's still a pretty...
Yeah, your friend's not named Usher, is he?
But it's still a pretty nice sight as you drive into the town. As you are arriving, you do notice a few people are giving you looks as you pull up to the inn.
Why do we
you
pull
do
up to
know-
the inn? We drive straight up to the manor house.
Well,
not in
there are two potential places. It could be either the manor, which looks very run down, or the nice, safe, clean, and warm inn over here.
Yes.
Why did you
That
use
was,
the word safe?
Well,
Yes,
I mean, that place
safe.
doesn't look safe. There's probably nails just sticking out of the walls or something.
You
And
can
this is a
attempt to
real threat, everyone.
if you want to go to the if you wish to go to the ruins first, you can.
What time is
let's
it?
go. Why don't we stop here and refresh ourselves, and we can ask them about the house up on the hill.
Right. If we intend to stay for any length of time, we probably also want to check in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might even not be staying if your friend's already, something untoward has happened to your friends. We might not even be here. It's only an hour away. We go back to town. We could be back on the train and going home already.
The manor house or whatever it is. You said it's a ruin?
It's an old ruin, yeah.
So obviously, it's obvious that nobody lives there, is what you're saying.
It's pretty obvious, yeah. Like there's not much of a building left. There's just enough to recognize a building.
So our thoughts are that the guy who sent this letter is probably staying at the inn, not that he lives somewhere nearby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lives in London.
What's the return address on this letter?
It would have been the inn. Yeah, it would have been sent from the inn.
Or the post office.
Yeah, a nearby the shop, which would act as the post office as they do.
So was it stamped from the post office or the inn?
Yeah, it would have been stamped from the local shop / post office, as that's a normal thing in Britain.
Okay, well then we gotta find your friend. All right, let's go ahead and I'll park the car, and I guess we'll go inside, have a pint.
To the inn, okay.
Sounds like a start.
The inn is.
Oh wait, this is Scotland. They drink whiskey, right?
Yes, they love whiskey,
Ooh,
and they
yeah.
love lager as well.
I'm probably more of a lager person.
Ale. Sorry, you guys call it ale, don't you, in America?
They've got weird rules.
Yeah. Beer. Let's call it beer. Nasty, salty beer. The inn is. Oh, there's also a church in town. Apologies.
You don't have to apologize. They put them everywhere.
You guys are horrible.
The inn is owned by a medium-sized man who seems confident and quiet.
We could take him.
You see sitting at the bar, he is currently writing something on a large piece of paper, and he looks up as you guys enter. He's like, "Hi, travelers, visitors, new reporters, news people. Welcome. He stands up and kind of pats himself down as you approach, and he extends his hand to Kerman. I'm assuming you're leading the pack.
Sure.
He shakes your hand and says, "I'm David. Nice to meet you. What are you doing in our little town?"
Give him a firm shake. Well, his Nibs here is coming up with his friend. They're here looking for a Mr. Jack West. Is that a name that rings any bells with you?
That's my name. I'm
you're Jack
looking for
West?
Clarence McDougal.
Oh,
It's
we found him. He's right here. We're looking for Clarence McDougal.
Mission accomplished. Let's go home.
He was here the whole time.
Truly, friendship was in our hearts from the very beginning.
Oh,
And somehow I got a free train ride out of it.
you're after McDougal. Yeah, he's upstairs at the moment in his room.
That was easy.
What do you know him? Are you friends of his?
He's
or
a friend of Mr. West here.
Oh yes, the old friend of mine.
You guys went
he
to what, college together or the war together? What'd you guys do?
he kind of narrows his eyes a little and says, "You're Jack then? Not Jack. What is he called? James. Then, right?
That's right.
Yeah. He told me you're supposed to be coming. Yeah, he's upstairs, room 4. Just as you go up the stairs, go left, ignore the first room, and it's the one after that with a 4 on the door."
Excellent. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm gonna go say hello and see how he is.
Mm-hmm. Other party guys, what are you guys going to be doing?
Following.
Welcome to come with if you want.
I assume you're going to go with, yeah.
Well, it's your guys' business. You don't need me to interfere. I can stay down here.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you want to stay down here in the bar, if you wish, get a pint, because you said you wanted one, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll just kick back and let these two guys do their business.
Okay.
I mean, especially also, I'm not that guy's friend, so if he's here because he wants to say something embarrassing, he doesn't need me hearing it.
Okay.
You know how these blue bloods are.
So, Nathaniel and James, you both head upstairs to the left, second door.
Number 4.
Mm-hmm. Number 4. The door is currently slightly ajar, and inside you see this man.
Ah! I'm glad I didn't go upstairs.
James, you notice straight away that he doesn't look like his normal self. He looks rather sick, and he's wearing a bandage on his right arm. His left hand, sorry, is covered in bandages to the point where it's like a ball, basically. He stands up as you guys push the door open a little, and he seems quite twitchy.
I sort of like knock on it first, just trying to be polite, and then when I see him, I just like start marching in as quickly as possible. It's like, Clarence, are you all right? Oh no, what's wrong with your hand?
Nothing. I wasn't expecting you to be here so fast. I thought it would at least be. Who's that with you?
This is Nathaniel. He was the one kind enough to pay for my way up here. I couldn't have come so quickly without his help.
Oh, you brought help, thank God. I
Let's not get
apologize.
ahead of ourselves on helpfulness. But please, tell me what happened, and let me see what's happened to you. I have my bag right here. I can go ahead and perhaps do a better job than this wad of bandages.
He looks and says, trust me, we trained under the same profession, James. This is as good as it's going to get. This injury's pretty nasty, I'll tell you that. You see he
Well, here,
reaches
at least
towards his
take a
desk again.
painkiller or something. You don't look well at all. I'll just
As you say
pop
that,
out an aspirin for him.
as you say that, you see he reaches towards a large bottle of amber liquid on his desk and takes a mouthful.
I mean, I would interject and say a physician with two hands can probably do better than a physician with one hand, especially when operating on oneself.
I'm going to just put my hands on my hips and just a little sarcastically go, now how can I help if you've already done it all for yourself?
This is it just you two? I've got a lot of information for you. And you see he kind of quickly takes out this wad of paper from his desk, picks it up, kind of begins flicking through it, and he says, I've I've uncovered something amazing and not amazing at the same time. Oh God. Please sit down. And he kind of clumsily motions towards his rather odd looking bed.
Does it look dirty?
It's not dirty, but it's not been like the sheets haven't been iron pressed or anything.
Say
They've just
compared
kind
to
of
my bed.
yeah.
Sorry,
it's
my
dirty.
bed.
It looks poor compared to your beds.
Yes, I think I'll just look at it and think, I think I'll stand.
And I'll sit with my friend.
I know the kind of bugs that inhabit these beds.
We do have the Nathaniel's driver downstairs, but I don't think he's much interested in any of this. I do have Kingsley, but he said he was going to have a look around.
Oh, very well. And you see he kind of holds his hand for a moment and kind of adjusts his wrist a little and seems to wince and then says, it might surprise you to know that despite all my research I've done in history, I knew almost nothing about my own family. In fact, when I checked, it seemed to begin in America in like the 1700s. I know that doesn't sound very odd since a lot of people started over the United States. However, my family has passed down a number of heirlooms, and there is, of course, my family's wealth, which is based solidly in gold. Through some diligent research, I managed to trace my ancestors back to this village. And a few months ago, I set out to come here and research. I regret that decision wholeheartedly. And you see he takes another large mouthful of the amber whiskey that he was drinking.
Might want to hold off just a moment on that if you can.
Maybe.
Still a bit early in the day.
Yes. I suppose now you are all wondering about my bandages. Well, I've lost a few fingers. As I mentioned, I came here for family research and I found far much more than I bargained for. I went into the ruins a few weeks back, looking through, trying to find any heirlooms that were still around, or maybe notes or things like that. Despite what people have been telling me, naturally, I dismissed superstitions out of hand. That is a funny way to put it. Now that I, do not have a full hand. Anyway, I went there and looked at the ruins, and I thought I heard something moving in the stones. I went closer. Supposed at the time it was rats. It turned to be out something larger, something that was most definitely not a rat. Something horrid, furry came out of the stones. I didn't get a good look at it. It moved fast, and I said it was night. I felt a sharp jerk on my finger, and I was horrified to see it was gone at the knuckle. I covered it up with a handkerchief and quickly ran back to the village. The local doctor did a fine job stitching me up, but I'm still scared of the bleeding. He takes another smaller sip this time of the whiskey, and he grimaces in pain a little. I would like James to make me a spot hidden check.
Spot hidden. Here we go. I have a chance at this. I roll. Hey, it worked really well.
You notice that there is a glint of emotion in this man's face as he looks at you, similar to that of Nathaniel's when he begins telling his stories.
He's what when he says his stories?
He has this look in his face that is very similar to Nathaniel's when Nathaniel tells his story.
Ah,
That
okay.
look of glazed craziness.
Clearly, they're both suffering from some sort of psychological element, but I'll console my friend and just like put a hand on his shoulder and go, well, it sounds like there's some sort of hound living up there, but
He
this
then
wasn't quite what frightened you, was it?
quickly interjects as you begin to speak. And he says, when he wrapped my finger up, I told him, I can still feel it. I can feel my finger. He mentioned phantom limbs, people that have lost limbs and often feel itches.
Of course.
However, I'm not feeling itches. I can feel it still biting and rending my flesh, like some horrid teeth are tearing the flesh right down to the bone. I feel like that's something in that hole is my finger, and I think I can't sleep. I haven't slept in days. Every time I close my eyes, I feel the pain racking me again.
There's a
I feel like I'm going mad.
there's a desk in this room, right?
Yeah, there is a small desk.
And he had a bunch of like papers on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chair?
There is a chair, yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna, take off my coat, fold it, place it over the edge of the chair, pull the chair out, sit down, gesture towards his collected, or not collected, mess of papers as was described. And I say, do you mind if I go through your notes?
Please go ahead.
I pull the spectacles up to my eyes, and I begin to read in the background.
Mm-hmm. You can use... what skill do you want to use here?
What skill do I want to use? I don't know.
These-
Library use?
these are-
His personal library.
These are notes on his family history.
Oh, okay. I was really hoping there'd be notes about his experiences after getting bitten by the mysterious beast of the well. None of those are his crazy scribblings of the things he's felt and seen since then?
He doesn't seem to have been. He looks... but judging by how kind of shaky he is, and the fact that he's probably very drunk all the time, you imagine he probably can't even write with any form of coherency.
Assumedly, he wrote the letter to Mr. West after his encounter to ask for help, and I recall that his handwriting was broken and shaky, so he was able to write.
That was probably a few days, many days ago. Probably about almost 2 weeks ago, probably.
Right. I'm just saying that he was able to write then. So who knows if he was able to write notes or not about this event.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to have any immediate notes on the top of the table.
Alright, well, I failed an anthropology check.
You're not able to really glean anything from it. It's mostly what he said about how his family had a wealth and gold, and they begun in America. They had titles and estates, all that good stuff.
All right. So, I'm still looking at Clarence and going, well, I suppose it should be very important for us to stop this hound out there one way or another, so that you can continue your search, but it sounded like you were worried about more than that, or am I...
He gives you a bit of a look, and he looks at Nathaniel, and then back to you. You're going to think I'm crazy. He looks down a little and rubs his temples, and you see the large bruise on the side of his face now. That's pictured in the image.
Right.
I went back. I thought it might be wise to go and investigate to try and see if it was a rat or a dog or maybe just going crazy and I've got some form of infection. No. The people in this village, they're crazy. I think whatever's down there, I saw it. I'm not sure what I saw. Some form of glowing rock. But the people in the village, when I went back, they were around the rock, speaking in their strange Scottish tongue. And I think they caused this creature to attack me. You know, because I'm English. They don't like the English, do they?
Oh, I've experienced quite a little bit of that myself so far.
But I think they're controlling the creatures around here. Maybe I'm just losing sleep. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I think something's going on.
Well, that's not entirely too crazy on its own, though. You are perhaps a little bit crazy to have gone back alone after this kind of attack.
Well,
But
after all, I handled myself in the past.
it's true. But I'm glad that you sent the letter to me.
I didn't know who else to turn to. I'm a man of your experience. You see, he kind of sighs and relaxes back in his chair, and he gives you a look, and he says, I can't begin to explain to you how much I appreciate you being here. I really
Do
thought I
anything
was
for a friend.
I thought I was gonna go crazy. But he looks to you, Nathaniel, and says, I don't know you. You don't think I'm crazy, do you?
I'm gonna give him a look for a moment. Have I ever heard of any like folklore, mythos? Sorry, when I'm using mythos, I mean mythology. Of anything of this region to the effect of the things he's described? Creatures from wells, glowing rocks.
Scotland has a lot of well-dwelling creatures. I would like you to make me a cult check. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all the
Oh,
old
come
stuff
on.
is.
Can I push it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna give him a much longer look, and there's a tense silence between us as I reconsider everything that I've known.
There we go. Yeah, there are a lot of different types of creatures that do this thing. Trolls, fairies. There was a specific creature called Fingerbiter. It was mentioned in an old history book that you read, but they only really steal fingers from poor people who have sinned. Definitely not random foreigners. However, uh, trolls and fairies often steal people's fingers because, for many reasons, for fun, for just because they want to. And trolls and fairies both also reside in wells, as well as finger biters do as well.
And just to extend the silence between us a little bit longer, does his story spark any recollections of my own memories?
It does not.
Other than the dream.
Oh, the stone. The stone kind of gives you a little. When you hear that, they were gathering around a stone, speaking in tongues, you are brought back to what you saw when you were touring the eastern part of the world. A slight tinge of that memory reappears, but you managed to push it down this time.
Yeah, for a moment it goes from a stare to a glazed over look to back to a stare.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think you're crazy, Mr. McDougal? I cannot answer that. I do have one question, though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When was the last time you went to church?
Well, I'm a man of science. I think I haven't been to church since I was a young boy.
Would you consider yourself a sinner, Mr. McDougal?
I don't. I wouldn't say. No, I don't engage in things like prostitution, if that's what you mean.
Do you think that God believes that you're a sinner?
I mean, I don't believe in him, so I don't support his people, so probably.
Right, I do believe blasphemy is a sin.
Is this really the appropriate time to be asking this sort of question?
I'm sorry, Mr. West. Did you not ask for my help?
I did, but I didn't really ask you to interrogate my friend about his personal beliefs.
I'm going to, droopy lid, sigh, and turn back to Mr. McDougal, and I do apologize if my questions find you on ill tidings, Mr. McDougal. I entrust that you understand that I'm asking you for relevant reasons and not persecuting you for your religious beliefs, as wrong as they may be.
Mm-hmm. He gives you a nod.
Would you be able to point us out to where this well is?
Yes. Up by the ruins, just in front of it. The by the gate, there's a large well, with a. It's got a little bit of water at the bottom. It ran out of there at me.
Is it the only well on the property, or is it the most obvious well on the property?
It's the only well on the property as far as I could find.
I'll close my eyes, I'll nod, I'll stand up, push the chair out, stand up, collect my coat back over my arm. I'll gesture towards Mr. West and I say, I believe you want to become reacquainted with your friend, yes? If so, I will leave you two to that for the moment, and I will meet down with Mr. Kerman downstairs. If you need me, I believe I will be further investigating this situation that you've placed in front of me.
Of course. And when he heads down, I'm just gonna ask Clarence, if he thinks he's still safe to stay in this village, if he is in too much pain to walk around with us, if he needs to be safe.
I don't want to leave this room, not until I can sleep.
As long as
He
you...
kind of points to the bottle of whiskey and says, This has been the only way I can properly sleep. I'm so hungover. Oh my goodness.
Well, perhaps I could find something better for your sleep. Perhaps actually knock you out for a little while. I don't think there's too much in this town, but maybe the general store has a couple of, bits and pieces of chemistry. Never hurts to check.
Mm-hmm.
Don't exactly have a laboratory, but maybe I could just mash something together. Still, you stay safe here and just try to keep up your rest.
He gives you a nod.
Okay. So I'm probably gonna head to the store and take a look at pharmacy stuff while the other two talk to each other about what's going on.
I do believe. Oh, is Norman back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Nathaniel has just came downstairs to you as you were drinking your beer.
So what's the good word?
I believe there is a location that we need to investigate. Are you done your drink yet, or do you need a moment?
I'll hold up a finger, shotgun the rest of my ale. Ready.
All right. And while you're doing that, I'm probably putting my coat back on because I've had it dangling over my arm.
I'll put the scarf back on.
And the moment we leave, I'm going to turn to you and say, do you find yourself to be a sinner, Mr. Carmen?
Not a one, sir. To consider yourself a sinner, you'd have to believe there's some sort of higher power that guides everything. And I'm not going to lie to you, sir. If this is the kind of providence that God has created, then I dare say that this world is so wicked that He had abandoned it. And if you'd seen what I'd seen through the Great War, you'd know what I was talking about.
And I feel like the transition we're going to move from here as we walk towards, the ruins, towards the well, is that if this was an episode of a show or something like that, camera would be on my face, and I would say under my breath, "Blasphemy is a sin."
Sir, it's not for you to judge me.
No, it's for God to judge you.
Just so. So when the roll's called up yonder, when I can look him in the face, that's going to be between me and his nibs. What time of day is it?
It's about 6 p.m.
Right, it'll be dark soon. Do you think it's wise to be poking around?
I have an electric torch. I don't think it's much of a problem.
I'd be more worried about poachers, sir. This area here with the green grass that grows so unkempt, it's probably full of bunnies and other small varmints. All it takes is one trespasser with itchy trigger finger and an old trusty shotgun, and they might take liberties with us, sir.
I'm sorry, are you doubting your own abilities? Is this not what you were here for?
Sir, last time I checked, dodge skill doesn't work against shotgun. No, more seriously. Sir, I'm just... It's not that I necessarily... well, first of all, I'm trying to put a spin on it, sir. If I know that I might be able to get out of a scrape, but you no longer wear a younger man's uniform. If we catch somebody by surprise or unawares, I'd just be worried. I don't want to cast aspersions upon the good people of this village, but I'm just warning you, sir. It's going to be dark. There'll be bad footing, and we might actually run into a bad customer or two.
What time do I believe that the sun would probably set?
Some first about 8 p.m.
Keeping in mind that I have science astronomy. I don't know if that helps with telling what time the sun sets.
It might mean you're an almanac and can look up when the sun would set.
About 8 p.m.
Alright, so we have some time. Time before it even starts getting dark. How far away are we from the ruins?
Is Dr. West coming?
Oh, of course. Just doing a little stop by the store first.
Mr. West is catching up with his friend.
You can buy it. So while you guys are talking, Dr. West, you have made it to the local store / post office. What do you wish to do? Oh, as you kind of walk in, you see you see a large, burly man. I will give you a short description of one moment. He's a large man who's wearing a pretty heavy coat, and you see outside of the post office is a pretty old-looking car. He kind of gives you this weird look as you enter, and you notice as you walk around the shop looking, his eyes remain locked on you.
Okay. So I'm looking for ingredients and things that could help someone sleep, or maybe even just straight put them into unconsciousness for a little while to help with clearance.
Is laudanum still legal?
Pardon?
I don't know.
You mean laudanum?
Laudanum, yeah, my bad.
I have no idea what that is.
Opium distillate.
I'd probably take it a lot, so I hope so.
Didn't fight those opium wars for nothing.
Yeah, up until the 20th century, it was a popular patent medicine.
Also, you get very addicted to it. You know, opium.
Yeah, it's got opium in it. You can easily get addicted to it.
It's alright. So I suppose I'm looking for some of that or something I can do to make do. I suppose either using my medical or pharmacological expertise.
What year? It was outlawed in 1906.
Well, no, it was, and then by 1920, it's covered by the British Dangerous Drugs Act. What year is this game again?
1924.
Yeah, it's 1906, they said you have to tell us it's opium, and at 1920, it's just illegal. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, we wouldn't. All right, so we'd have to find something else.
You
Good luck
pro-
with that.
It could also
Oh.
just be far enough north they haven't taken it off the shelf.
I
You
hope
never know.
that's our connection then. Is that I needed a supplier, and that's how I met you.
Probably.
You give me my supply of laudanum.
This place does seem to have a few sleeping pills. You notice?
Oh, okay.
Just general herbal sleeping pills.
Okay. So if those seem to sort of check out to my medical knowledge as like actually being well, effective and not deadly, then I could go ahead and pick those out.
What? What skill do you wish to use then to try and determine the strength of these?
I have medicine and science pharmacology.
Which do you think would be more relevant?
I suppose I'd want to know the immediate effect of this. I suppose pharmacy would be more trying to understand the compounds to actually create this in the first place.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, so I suppose we'll go with medicine then.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for my friend's safety. I probably want to push this.
Probably. Just so you
So
don't give
I
him
would
too
just
much.
reroll.
Yep. But be aware, a fail will result in a harder fail.
Hey, there we go.
So you pick up the pill bottle and you kind of what the fuck? You look over the pills for a moment and you read the ingredients and you think about it and you realize yeah, I mean, they're not particularly strong,
Hmm.
but if you could probably knock someone clean out with about 4 times the dose of what it recommends. Lethal, however, 9 times the dose.
Oof. Okay, but aside from lethal dosing someone, this seems to be safe and effective then. That's very good to know. So, I suppose I will go ahead and go up to the very grumpy and staring shopkeeper and engage in a little polite conversation to purchase it.
You approach and he kind of goes, what?
Just looking to grab this. That's all right.
He picks the item up. As you kind of place it down, his large, brutish hand takes it. He is very tall for the. He's 6'6". So when I said he's big, he's
Yeah,
big, and he's wide
huge
as
for this
well.
countryside.
Yeah, he's his eyes remain locked on you, and then he kind of quickly looks at the pill and then looks at you, looks at the pills and looks at you and says, "Why'd you need these?"
Oh, well, my poor friend's having trouble sleeping.
Who's that?
One moment, I just had like a dog invade. Ah, it's
Mhm.
going over my hands. Come here, puppy.
Ah,
But yeah, I'll just kind of
I'll just
smile and go.
Yeah, I just want to interject and say, Crazy McDougal.
But yeah, you also do notice that this man has an English accent.
Mhm.
It's not a Scottish accent, and he looks at you and says,
Okay.
"Who's that then?"
Oh, it's for my friend Clarence. Maybe you've seen him around town a little bit.
Huh. The McDougal lad.
That'd be the one.
Yeah, don't listen to anything he says.
Yeah, specifically the Crazy McDougal.
He's a bit out of his way. He went up to the well at night, didn't he? Cut his finger off.
Oh,
I'm
I've
not
heard a
sure.
bit of the strange story.
Yeah.
His pain, however,
We
seems very real. And it kind of pains me too to see him like that.
yeah. Ian had to fish him out the well actually.
Oh, he fell all the way in?
Yeah, he fell down. Apparently, from what we could discover from finding him, at least, he cut his finger off and threw himself down the well. I think Ian's still got the knife he used actually. Huh.
Who'd you say had it?
Ian. He's where would he be at the moment? He'd be in the church probably. He's a I'm not sure what you call him. He's one of them people who want to go for the papers. But
Journalist.
he's in he's in the wrong place. He's in the wrong place for that kind of thing.
Suppose there's not always a fun and interesting story out this way. But maybe I'll go check in on him. Thanks for the heads up.
But anyway, for these, they're £6.
Alright, I'll go ahead and pass that around, and it's within my spending level.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got £4 left for the day, but hopefully I don't need to spend too much. Alright, so I got my medicine, I got dosage, I can go back to Clarence and help put him to sleep for a little while.
Or
Yep.
forever.
And at that point, I can go ahead and reconvene with the others who want to go and investigate.
Well, we were on our way, actually. That's why I asked how far away we were.
You do see them. You see the party as you leave. They just are now exiting the pub.
Alright, I tell them to just give me a few moments while I go talk with Clarence and give him some medicine.
Mhm.
So I'll hop up, I'll give him a proper dosage to put him to sleep for a while so he doesn't have to think about any of the pain.
He doesn't even begin to contest. He just takes it and it conks out.
And I'll go ahead and keep the bottle so that nobody accidentally doses. Who knows if he'll
So
wake up and go, I need to just go back to sleep.
There are 20 doses in there in total, so make sure you're marking down how many you have.
Alright, so there's 16 doses left.
Yep. You guys reconvene outside of the pub, and you are now standing there in the beginning to go dark, but not dark yet.
Well, it's
Scottish
only
town.
6 o'clock. How far dark can it get?
It's not very dark. It's just kind of like a little dim.
If the sun sets at 8 o'clock, then we have hours to go. But again, which is why I asked how far away we were.
It's within like a half an hour's walk.
Right, so we got plenty of time. 3 hours, in fact.
Pardon?
I said, so we have plenty of time. 3 hours, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Am I quiet to you?
No.
Okay.
So, sorry, I'm just reading something quickly. No. Okay. You guys are standing outside the pub. Where do you wish to go?
Well, I think these two were interested in going straight up to the manor. And,
We were already going. I keep saying this. We would left when he had left to go to the...
Well, I mean, like, I walk past you, say, hold up, like, 5 seconds.
Well, I mean...
Give them the dosage and come back down, so...
No, I understand we reversed time a bit so that we all left at the same time, but we were leaving when you hadn't even left the room yet. But, I mean, if we can all go at the same time. That's not a problem. I'm just saying that we had already started walking a long time ago. So if you're joining up with us, you're catching up, yeah. But the emphasis of what I'm saying is that we've left. We're on the way.
The main question is, where are we going?
The well. I've said this. We're retreading information now. We are going to the well, as was
You're
said.
heading to the well together. I'm saying you are all going together. There we go.
No, I don't know why I'm retreading all this information. I said I understood that we left for the well a while ago.
Yes.
Well, you're asking me.
But just to make it convenient so we're not playing catch up.
No, I said I understood that. I explained it back to you.
So it's a half an hour's walk there, up a bit of a muddy path, but nothing really out of the ordinary. There's not many people in town at the end of the day, so no one really bothers you.
Simple enough.
Mm-hmm. You get to these large, worn iron gates, and that you're standing in front of now. You can see the ruins, and you can actually see the well from where you were standing. You can see the large courtyard, pillars, old, decrepit statues, lots of eye candy. But what do you wish to do?
I mean, is the gate locked?
No, the gate's wide open.
Well, I'm going to gesture for Mr. Kerman, open the gates.
Oh no, the gates are open. Like they're completely wide open. You could just walk towards it.
Oh, then we're going through the gates.
Okay. You head through the gates, hearing the crunch of old leaves and sticks underneath your feet. Where are you heading first?
The well.
Yeah, straight to the well.
Yes.
The old well is as you approach, you notice it is old and decrepit, but there is
Oh, sorry, not to interrupt, but I don't actually approach the well. I go a distance away from the well, and then indicate for everybody else to go forwards.
Yes, I imagine. The old well has a finger.
Well, I had at least two, maybe.
Has a ladder sticking out of it. It is large, and you could probably fit 2 people down it at once. But it has a ladder sticking out of it.
What kind of well is this?
It's
An
big.
extravagant one, apparently.
It's a big well for rich old people.
I'll find a rock and drop it in. And listen.
It falls for about a second, and then you hear a loud sploosh.
Yeah, there's water down there. Who knows how deep that is?
Well, Clarence just said it wasn't all that deep at the bottom, just a little bit.
Well, that was a big splash, so it could be at least a foot. I didn't bring my rubbers, or my galoshes or anything like that. Well, I have my driving boots on. So, plus also, I don't think his nibs over there is going to want to go in there. Well, it's also, like, I'm just looking at this. What kind of well is a ladder in it? Like, is a ladder? Is it a rope ladder or a wooden ladder or recess?
It's a wooden ladder.
Probably to keep people from not being able to climb back out.
What do you see up there?
The party was informed. Well, I mean, James was recently informed that the man did fall into the well, apparently, and someone had to go down there and get him out.
So I guess they just left the ladder here. Perfectly good ladder, just to rot in the water. Huh. Pretty weird.
There's been one on the property.
Also, the fact is, like, this well is pretty large. I'm thinking this isn't a well. This looks more like a cistern. Like, maybe at some point there used to be a castle up here or something like that, and the castle's gone, and this is all that's left.
Mr. Kerman, what do you see up there?
It's a pretty big underground aquifer or cistern, sir.
Is there anything in it?
Shine the light down. Do I see anything obvious?
Make me a spot hidden.
I do have spot hidden. Let me push buttons here. Okay. Spot hidden. Extreme!
Nice.
Making up for all those failures earlier.
I know, yeah. You I may as well just move you to the location image that I have. So you can, I don't know how to describe it, but you can tell that this is definitely not a well. In fact, there is some form of cavern down there.
A what down there?
Some form of cavern. I guess you would call it a cistern, yeah.
Yeah, so it opens up to a much larger area. Yeah, see, back when they had castles, like when people siege you got to have, like, water. So you build it on top of a large cave. I mean, Scotland's probably a lot like Ireland. These probably crisscross through with caves and stuff. So there's a large underground complex under here that's filled with water. But you know how it is. Like hundreds of years go by, and that's cut stone. So people just would take the castles apart, but so all that's left is the underground stuff. So this is no mere well. This is a huge complex.
Boom. There we go. There's a location guide image.
Yeah, that's a cistern. Yeah, that is. So I can see some of at my angle. I can see some of the proper columns that are in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a cistern. So yeah, I have no idea how big that is.
But you can tell there's probably a very big complex down there.
Yeah, wow. We need to look up the provenance of this place, sir. A cistern of that size implies there used to be a much larger, like, castle or something on top of this. All that's left is the ruins of the manor house. If we get to the Hall of Records, we could look up a lot more information about it.
Hall of Records?
If you're...
A town hall, a local town hall.
Yeah, there'd be a local town hall. There might be a historical society. Also,
that sure sounds like the local church to me.
Also, if you're from, there is Scottish heraldry. So if there are Scottish nobles, they would have a strong. If this was originally a castle, it had to have been founded by somebody rich. There has to be a provenance of who originally made. Well, no, sorry. I'm speaking now. By the way, I'm speaking in terms of like someone from the period would say there would have to be someone. You don't just build a castle. Somebody used to own this place and built this giant underground castle, with water underneath it. So there would have to be some record somewhere that this was a castle at some point. Now, of course, like, the Middle Ages end, like the 14th, 15th century. People wind up just looting all the stone. This is King's Barn, so this probably is. There used to be someone here. It might be buried in the records, and no one even remembers what this is down here. But I'm sure someone took records of who originally owned this. It might just be in a lot of digging to find it, or we could just hurl ourselves headfirst into an underground complex filled with water that's possibly unsafe. But
right, going down there in the middle of the night as soon as the sun's setting, yeah, that doesn't sound exactly normally safe to me.
I would like to point out that it doesn't matter if we go down during the night and during the day. It's still going to be pitch black.
That is true.
But there's also finger biting. Your friend said they had a finger biting monster. So,
right, I have no doubt at this point then that maybe there's a pack of wild dogs living down there, if nothing else.
Or some insane guy who likes to bite off. Who knows? But also, I'm pretty sure that his nibs, being an older person, as well as somebody who's not too fond of dark standing water, might not want to go down there. Going to the library going to the library and doing some research or even like the Hall of Records sounds much better than climbing down to a cold cave and getting pneumonia and dying in an era before antibiotics.
I feel like this is our splitting up moment. I'll go to the library. You guys go down there.
No, I'm coming with you.
Speaking of crazy people stealing fingers, I believe two birds with one stone could be solved in this situation. The church probably is the place that actually keeps the local town records, and I believe the shopkeeper actually told me that a man named Ian there is a journalist. He might have more, and he says he has the knife which Clarence cut his own fingers with.
That's sounding better and better, and the churches probably will be still open late. Why don't we go to the church first if we can't find anything? And if the church doesn't have it, they would know where to look for it, and that sounds way better. If we're going to come back here, I would want to get proper waterproof gear anyway. And I'm pretty sure if we go to the general store, they will have like fishing gear, like waders and shoes.
But so I suppose while we're still out here, we can maybe take a look at the grounds and see like what kind of tracks we might find.
Hey, while there's still light, that's a great idea. Let's look around. Are you a skilled hunter?
Nope. That would be our friend Kingsley.
Who's still sleeping it off.
Just straight knocked out cold in that room.
Let me see how good I am with Nope, I am a crap tracker. I guess we'll look around. Do you want us to make a track roll?
Yes, if that's what you're looking. If that's what
Okay.
you're looking.
As long as there's still light, we should keep looking.
Remarkably, I make it.
Wow. Holy shit.
If there's any tracks here, I guess you found them. Yeah, the rest of us are just like, what?
I mean, we're all equally untrained.
I remember Kingsley telling me what you needed to do. You really had to just like get your face right down on the ground like this.
What are you looking for then?
Animal tracks, people
Yeah.
tracks, poacher tracks.
Human tracks.
Yeah, signs of anything else wandering around.
Signs of struggle, signs of blood, signs of missing fingers.
You do notice as you are searching around looking for any form of how would I put this? As you're looking for forms of like tracks and signs of people, you find little splatters of blood still remaining around the fucking well. There we go. I was trying to think of the word. You find small splatters of blood still on the stonework of the well.
Makes sense so far.
Story checks out.
Yeah. And you notice large aggressive tracks, larger than a dog, but smaller than a person, leading almost everywhere around.
So
the
a really
well.
big dog. There's no wolves left in Scotland, right?
There is no wolves in Scotland.
Yeah.
If there is, they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say a really big dog. You guys can say whatever you want. Yet another reason not be hanging around here at night.
Well, Clarence seemed to suggest that maybe the town has some trained dogs of its own, but
That's a pretty big footprint. I've seen a lot of dogs, and I've not seen a dog that big.
I don't think I've heard any dogs in town, have I?
No. You haven't seen any dogs or heard any dogs.
Right, so while that's the most sensible thing to think, it's also totally unproven.
Well, did you bring your plaster so we can make a cast?
Well, I do have my doctor's bag here. I think I have a little bit.
No, did you bring your investigator kit?
Oh, I don't have one of those, because I'm not actually an investigator.
Sigh, I'll unsling my bag because I bought an investigator kit.
Hold on. Someone came prepared.
I mean, arguably, I have a portable camera.
A portable what?
Camera.
Oh, yeah, take a picture.
Eastman commercial camera with 24 film exposures.
I'll throw a ruler down next to it. You take a picture.
Yeah, for scale.
Yeah, we can spend the next 2 hours waiting for it to resolve.
Well, the tablet.
Yeah.
It won't take that long for the plaster to dry. We'll take a cast of it. Hey, tabloids pay for news like this. It's the era of yellow journalism. Giant footprint found in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you can tell stories about giant monsters coming out of locks, and people will pay big money for that.
Who would believe that kind of story?
Stupid tourists.
That's almost exactly it, actually. Most folklore in Britain is spread simply because tourists are fucking stupid.
Well, you pay me enough money, I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Like, holy shit, you Americans just believe anything we tell you. I mean, what?
I believe I speak for both Kermit and myself. It's a crime to let stupid people keep their money.
Yes, it is.
Loch Ness Mania won't start until 1933, so
No.
we're ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah.
But people still love hearing folklore stories in Britain. I mean, even to this day, we love folklore. We are proud of our heritage and history. At least I am. So you're taking a picture and then a cast, I believe, was the consensus.
Yeah, he takes a picture first. I'll throw some plaster down. That won't take too long. You guys just watch the fading light. We'll just take it with us.
How long does that take?
Let's see. Quick test. Not too long. Plaster cast. Oh, geez, 15 minutes or less. It'll be soft in the first 15 minutes. I can then dig around it if I'm careful. It'll harden enough in about 20 minutes that we can dig it up and take it with us. Then we'll carefully take it back to town.
Okay. So it is going to be hard enough in about 15 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so you're able to take the photo, and there's no issues with the cast, since we have a hard success there. Is there anything you guys wish to do while waiting for that?
Well, I do have a 10-volume encyclopedia set, because I brought that even though I didn't bring an investigation kit. So I have some books with me. Maybe these books could match the print to a creature that is real.
Sure. What do you wish to roll? What skill do you reckon would be applicable there?
I guess that would be library use.
Yeah, I can see library. I can see an argument for library use there.
Let's give it a go. It doesn't match any known creature in these 10 volumes. In fact, at the back of the book, it suggests I pay for the next 50.
Do you mind if I take a look in that?
Oh, of course. Ah, how could I have missed that page? The one with the obvious footprint.
So even with your great roll and ability, there is no such creature referenced in these books that has this kind of footprint. Upon further inspection, you now realize that this footprint is in fact not even near that of a description of a dog's. With the resin cast now in it, you realize that it is a almost human-sized handprint with two long fingers at the end.
It's an orangutan! They're after our hookers at the Rue Morgue!
It's the moment in the comedy horror movie where we both just look back at Kerman.
Do you know, like, when, you know,
Hey,
you took your middle two fingers in and you just have the two fingers sticking out?
Yeah.
It's like the creature walks around like that.
Oh man, perpetually in the rock and roll.
Yes, just two long fingers and then a palm in the center.
Would my occult readings give me any clue as to what such a creature might have been known as?
Go ahead.
Can I push that?
Sure. You've not, again, you can only bring it narrowed down to this time, two creatures. This is a lot bigger than a pixie, definitely.
Well, pigs get huge.
I mean, a pixie can be human-sized. When I made that joke about a big-breasted woman and a lithe guy on a hog, that was the king and queen of the pixies I was joking about. So,
Yeah.
or technically fairies, but fairies can be pixies.
Yeah. But pigs can be hundreds of pounds. They can be enormous.
Yes, but this is definitely not a pixie, or at least a conventional pixie. Although you can imagine definitely it being an ogre, or a troll, sorry. And at the same time, there's not really much in the way of physical description of fingerbiters, so it still could be that.
So you're saying there's a chance?
That I am.
So we've ruled out pixies and trolls, but included now ogres, and not ruled out.
No, sorry. No. I was it's not ogre. I meant troll.
Okay, so we ruled out pixies.
It's ruled out pixies, but trolls and fingerbiters are still in there.
Yeah, I mean, evidence for trolls, but no evidence that discludes fingerbiters.
Well, look, fandom and Wikipedia don't exist yet. Ogre, troll, fairy, whatever.
Well, literally, we're just working with what I remember from all my occult books back home.
So a troll came by and bit your friend's finger off.
Is this what he's seriously putting out into the air at us, or is that just his own inner monologue?
It's my own inner monologue. I'm not putting it out there.
Yeah, it's always a finger biter that bit off his fingers. Well, yes, it's something that bit off his fingers.
Well, no, it's more we both looked at the encyclopedia, and even though you failed and I succeeded, we both didn't find anything. And in the time between, I'm thinking to myself everything that I've read in all my occult books, and I'm coming up with ideas, but I'm not voicing them because my stories are already crazy enough.
Well, I'm going to try to be rational here. And it's so there's a big footprint that's bigger than a big dog. There's blood and your friend was attacked. So there's probably something wandering around. Now, it's after the Great War.
Right.
People go on safari. People get weird animals all the time. Plus also, we haven't launched satellites to cover the entire globe yet. There might be some sort of critter wandering around here, perhaps mutilated, making those weird footprints or whatever.
Just my sort of thinking there. It must be injured and have lost several of its fingers for this to occur.
Or it's a large bird.
Well, if it's some sort of animal that escaped from a menagerie, like say a large dog or a wolf or whatever,
or an ostrich,
I don't think are moas extinct yet? I think moas already went extinct. Okay, but I would still have heard of giant. If there's some weird creature wandering around, normally most creatures avoid humans because we're scary. But if it's hungry or desperate and your friend is weird and drunk, there's no reason he couldn't have stumbled into it. So okay, look, we have a footprint, we have blood, we have your mutilated friend. Something weird is out there.
Right. So we do want to be careful and perhaps get it out of the way if we want him to continue looking into his family.
Remind me of the story here. Does your friend say he cut off his fingers and threw them in the well, or did something bite off his finger?
He claims that something bit them off.
But
meanwhile, the store owner suggested that they were cut off.
Well, he is crazy. There's blood there, but there is this footprint.
Did the store owner suggest that they found the fingers?
Yeah,
I didn't actually ask about that at the time. It didn't cross my mind that they might be somewhere.
They're probably down in that stupid well.
That's probably a very good guess, and it would be good to see if we can locate them all there. But again, if there was a hungry animal like you're suggesting, they're probably eaten.
Well, okay, so I'm guessing that the ruins that were up there, they were overgrown to hell and back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's plenty of bushes, and there's a large, large unclaimed estate. There's something could be hiding up there.
Very true.
We could conceivably, just as if we're plagued with too much money, because we are rich people, we could sponsor, for lack of a better word, a snipe hunt to say we found this, photograph of this footprint, and then offer a monetary reward if people bring us back the beast. I'm only a little reluctant to do that because as soon as we do that, every nut job with a shotgun is going to beat the bushes and shoot at things randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure the villagers would necessarily be in on that themselves.
Depends on how much we make the reward. But we could also get in trouble because the villagers wouldn't necessarily want us bringing in thrill seekers and stuff like that.
Right. I doubt my friend would be very much welcome to continue his research if we were to do such
a thing. Your friend's crazy! He's cutting off his fingers, getting eaten by monsters!
Well, he's my friend, he's in pain, he's very upset, and I want him to get better. And the sooner I can resolve this matter, maybe the sooner he'll go back to being a little bit more stable.
We can tell him he's not crazy. There is a man-eating creature up there. Stop going back up there. There's a man-eating creature up there.
Well, he was never one to have much common sense.
Well, it's going to bite off.
Maybe he just needs to lose a toe, too, while we're at it.
Or his bell end, depending on how weird he is.
Upon that note, as the party begins to contemplate their next move, we are going to call for today.
That's yes.
The perfect note to end on. Bell ends.
There we go. I'm a winner. I'll call this a victory.
how did you guys find session 1 of Call of Cthulhu 7th edition?
So just for the record, I'm not crazy. You were playing ambient music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, phew. I had headphones on, suddenly I start hearing these weird noises. It wasn't helped by the fact that it was raining here, so I didn't notice
Rafferty,
it
though,
first.
what noises? You're going crazy.
It's just like, what's that noise? Like, because I know it's raining, but it's like, why is the rain? Is the house falling apart? Like, crap. So, I enjoy historical details because I enjoy the pictures and I enjoy period pieces. Like, I'm feeling it.
I like the chance to do a little bit of a character interaction, and it's clear we're not all good investigators. I'm just waiting for more medical mysteries to pop up, like those fingers to come up.
Well, that's not medical mystery. You could tell us if his fingers were chopped off or if they were cut.
That's true. I just have to get him to actually show us the hand, which he wasn't, but he is now drugged and asleep.
Yeah, you mean hold him down? Won't be the first time I've held somebody down.
I mean, we won't have to. That's the point now.
You should probably change his dressing anyway.
This is also very true.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to do that.
Yep. So how are you feeling about this, Mr. I'm afraid of dark standing water?
It's fine. I'll just spend more time in the library while you guys go downstairs.
You know that's not a good idea. The Call of Cthulhu's rule 1 is do not split the party.
We're in like a rural town where someone has said, I think the whole town is in on it, and we're gonna split up. The first thing that's gonna happen in the town is the pitchforks and torches come out and they go for you.
I mean,
What?
that's fine. That's the.
But then again, I guess that's your character's natural habitat, isn't it? Fighting the natives.
That's my except. Hey. Well, I'm not British. I don't have to defend that. Anyway, that's my natural inclination. I'm not going down into the dark water area, so. But I brought specifically you guys along to help, so this is where you guys go. So,
yeah.
Assumably the hunter will be with you next time, and I will just go read books.
Yeah, well, I think we should do some research anyway, because I don't want to go trespassing on someone else's property and get caught.
We just did.
So we should probably, that would be our next step anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a horror adventure, but I'm enjoying it's got horror elements, but we're not stupid. It's like we see evidence of some sort of maltreatment. Whatever it is, it was enough to attack your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know, we have guns and concentrated firepower, I'm not planning on getting my nose or my fingers bitten off. So.
Yeah, trying to play stupid, all of us here, it's a little bit of a task, but I think we're handling it pretty okay.
And we can find out where the locals stand on this, because if the locals know about a cryptid or something like that, But anyway, we have progress.
I imagine if we talk to this Ian, then we'll definitely get an answer on that regard.
Yeah, definitely want to talk to Ian.
I'm not playing the religious angle because my character is religious. I was asking Kerman if he believes he's a sinner because I wanted to use him as bait. If he was a sinner.
Well,
and I keep throwing out there blasphemy is a sin because it is, and if this thing is attacking people who the church believes are sinners, then if you go in front of me and it goes after you, I've got a clue. Sin.
I'll be your Vanafucci. I can totally do this.
Oh yeah. I figured I just wanted to have a moment there. That was a fun one. It's like, have some empathy, please.
Yeah.
Well, I asked the guy, and he knew I wasn't grilling him because I thought he was crazy.
What are your theories then? Well, should throw your ideas at me.
It's a finger biter.
Let's see what you reckon is finger biter.
It's a finger biting monster. It's probably Jenny Greenteeth.
Well, I mean, if the blood there, the footprint obviously means that, the attack probably makes sense, but someone says that they have a knife, and looking at the wounds would determine if the knife or the bite is real.
If it's weird handprints and it's something that lives in a well underwater, like I said, my first vote would be Jenny Greenteeth.
Right, and of course if the town already has a preemptive explanation with oh yeah, we have the knife, go talk to Ian. Ian is the one who's good at lying about this. And then, there's a cover-up for some kind of reason.
Well, he's also the church guy, so he might not be indoctrinated into the ways of, he might not be cool with this, let's throw fingers at the trolls,
Right, but if we don't know why they might be like trying to pull back from like what's actually happening, it could either be like really bad in terms of like, oh yeah, this is Call of Cthulhu, they're all cultists or something, or it could
Well-
be more benign. It's like we just don't want any trouble in our weird town.
I mean, if there is something weird going on, you don't want to cheese off the fair folk. So,
Exactly.
But who knows? The only evidence we have is a weird footprint that we can't identify.
Mhm.
That if we're lucky, will get published in some newspaper, and we microfish for investigators 80 years from now.
Footprint, maybe the bite. That's about it. Because the blood is probably just my friend's blood more than anything else.
How many years do we have to wait for the 14 times to show up? Yeah, we gotta wait. It's not gonna be another 50 years before the 14 times show up.
Oh, obviously we could just like stand out by the window of the well in the middle of the night with no light and see if anything comes attacks us. That'd solve it pretty quickly.
People who search for 14 times also search for Auto Express and Gentleman's Quarterly. What? Thank you, future.
Clearly starting a new magazine hobby, right?
Hey, just because I'm a crackpot doesn't mean I can't own a nice car and a nice suit.
Character thesis right there.
Characters.
So what about this experience stuff? We have checkboxes.
Yes. So for each checkbox, I'll go over it now. For each skill that has a checkbox in it, roll a D100. If you get over a 95, add 1D10.
Wait, over 95? I thought you just said to fail the roll.
Hmm? No.
Yeah,
wait.
I mean that's crazy if you have to get over a 95.
Which I actually did twice.
Still, that is still crazy.
Hold on. Let me just try this again.
Usually it's if you fail the roll, you get...
Roll a D100 for each skill checked. If the result is...
Well, I got 1 point increases, so that's hilarious.
Roll 1D100 for each skill checked. If the result is higher than 95 or over, if the result is higher than the skill or over 95, there we go.
Yep.
So basically, you have to get higher than you make an improvement check, same way you did education. So if the skill is higher than if the roll is higher than your skill, add 1d10 each time.
Yep. Oh, well, my track is the one that went up the most.
All right, 6-2 library use.
And
Hey,
don't forget-
1 point of charm.
Yeah, I got 1 point in the other ones. Okay, yeah. So if you roll like 96 and up, or
I almost forgot
or if you
track.
fail. Okay.
I got better at reading books.
Yeah. Did we all become better trackers? That's what.
I'm not any better at medicine. I'm pretty good at that, everyone.
The other ones only went up by 1%, so BFD. But hey, any improvement is improvement.
This is true. Ooh, I'm really good at noticing things, everyone.
Oh yeah. Well, and then clear all your check marks.
Yes, and then don't forget to clear all your check marks.
Yeah, I'm undoing it as I go. I figured that'd be the easiest way to do it for me.
See, I should have tried to impress you guys with my vocabulary, so I could make a language English roll.
Ooh, yeah. I can speak all types of English, including Scottish.
My character would normally speak around you guys with an affected French accent, but I actually know English fluently enough to speak it without an accent. I just don't let you guys know that.
Just suddenly drop it and go, I've actually been English this whole time.
I want you guys to think I have an affected French accent, so when I go commit my crimes, it's like...
Well, this man didn't have an accent at all, so it can't be him.
Can't be this guy. No, it's not him at all.
But that's the thing, you'll then have to talk extensively at length to witnesses for them to witness that you don't have an accent.
Yep. Welcome to smuggling. So, all right. So it's pretty cool.
All right. I can go ahead and close that out.
Yep. I hope you all had a good game. I definitely enjoyed playing you like fools.
It's a horror game.
Well, we are fools.
Hi. Other than that, though, I shall see you all next week. I'll let you know if anything changes, but as far as I am aware, it shall be the same time, same place. same game.
Very good.
As far as
Thanks
I
for
know.
running, man.
All right.
Thank you
Take
for
care.
hosting us, and have a
Catch
good
you all
week,
next
everyone.
time.
Catch you all next week.
Thank you.